Latin America's Green Heart is the second of a trilogy of films covering the Earth's three main rainforest blocks: the Amazon and the Congo basins, and lastly the rainforests of Southeast Asia. Here in Latin America, rapid economic development poses a serious threat to the very survival of what is often referred to as the world's largest green lung, the Amazon basin, a vast and seemingly endless equatorial rainforest.
Here in Lima, I was to witness this nation's booming economic growth, largely sustained by the vast mineral wealth found within this nation's pristine territories. But not all of Lima's citizens enjoy the fruits of Peru's economic progress.
Roberto Puey Morales, vivo acá en Lima. Ahora estamos en San Juan de Lurigancho, es el distrito más grande de todo Lima. Aproximadamente más de 3 millones de personas viven acá. Ahorita estamos en un cerro que se llama Los Sauces. Es el lugar más pobre de Lima. La gente vive así en chozas y lo que necesitamos es canchas, áreas verdes, menos fábrica, menos contaminación.
Rivers that have their origins in the snow-capped mountains of the high Andes have begun to alter as glaciers and snowcaps recede due to high global temperatures. Snowfall and glaciers found in the high Andes are the source waters which feed into the Amazon basin and eventually the mighty river itself. Whilst in Tarapoto waiting for transport, I was to spend time wandering around the city's various markets. One surprise I was to discover was a large jaguar pelt for sale, displayed clearly for all to see at the entrance of the market. Within this market, I was to see stuffed snakes, butterflies, turtle shells, colorful insects, and large tarantulas. Other markets had wild forest pigs for sale. From Tarapoto, I was to travel over a range of mountains and down to the river port by the name of Yurimaguas. Here I was to travel along the Hualagua River. Along these riverbanks, much of what was jungle territory has since been cleared and converted into farmlands and cattle ranches. As with other regions of the Peruvian Amazon, the economic pace is set to increase with the discovery of petroleum deposits. The Hualagua River is the heart of lagunas and the many local indigenous communities that sustain their lives by farming the rich alluvial soils of this forested region of Peru. But now 70% of the Peruvian Amazon has been earmarked for petroleum production and further exploration.
Me llamo José Grosio Gil Navarro, soy biólogo y soy el jefe de la Reserva Nacional Pacaya-Samiria, una de las áreas protegidas de mayor importancia en el Perú, y Latinoamérica y el mundo. Es una reserva que tiene 2.080.000 hectáreas, está en la selva baja peruana y una de las bondades que tiene Pacaya-Samiria es que tiene una gran diversidad biológica y asimismo beneficia mucho a las poblaciones locales de esta parte del Perú, tanto para la alimentación y también prestando servicios ambientales a la Amazonía peruana y al mundo. Hay muchas especies de animales y plantas que tienen mucha importancia científica.
Pacaya semiria is a rich and diverse rainforest, and its biodiversity is sustained by abundant seasonal rainfall. Much of Pacaya semiria would be virtually submerged by rivers, lakes, and swamp waters during the long seasonal rains. The waters of this reserve eventually feed into the mighty Amazon River itself. It is the vast and endless canopy mass that absorbs much of man's carbon emissions and provides our planet with essential moisture and rainfall, as indeed a major blood artery pumps vital blood around our hearts. Along the forested waterways, I was to encounter a fascinating world of plants, insects, and a vast variety of birds. But it was the numerous encounters with pink dolphins that I was to find the most rewarding. I was to have the rare good fortune to witness this magical but fragile spectacle, a dream, a wonder, a journey into the heart of life itself. The rainforest of the Amazon cannot be quantified in the simple equation of money, for life itself is not a commodity to be bought and sold. Once lost and destroyed, this magical array of life will never be recreated. With the advent of the latest discovery of petroleum, the Peruvian Amazon region is beginning to move into a new era of uncertainty.
Es muy importante el cuidado de los bosques para las futuras generaciones del mundo entero, no solo del Perú, es su compromiso, sino de todos los países del mundo.
San Francisco is a Shipibo settlement, and at last I'd come to an indigenous community to live and to learn amongst the inhabitants of this equatorial forested region. The lives of the inhabitants of this region also depend on the resources of the forest. They have coexisted within the Amazon forest for thousands of years. For the Shipibo Indians, as with other indigenous Amazonian people, the forest is a living entity with a spiritual dimension inhabited by ancestors, trees, plants, and animals, which also have a spiritual essence. Many of the fabric designs sewn by these women represent the jungle vine of ayahuasca that provides a ritual connection for the many indigenous communities with the ancestral spirits that inhabit the magical world of the forest within the Amazon basin. During my stay with the Indian community, I was to spend time with a traditional shaman, a man with an intimate knowledge of the forest and the ancient understanding of the jungle's medicinal plants and a vast variety of herbs.
Yo soy naturista. Vengo desde mis ancestros. Soy de una familia chamánica. Mi trabajo es todo lo que es recolección de plantas medicinales. Y trabajo directamente todo lo que es de la planta. Hace 40 o 50 años atrás teníamos mucha planta, mucha vegetación. Hoy en día ya no tenemos plantas. Todo lo que es la depredación que viene haciendo personas que dedican todo lo que es madera y también al mismo tiempo están depredando todo lo que es la planta medicinal, no solamente la planta medicinal, sino también nuestros animales.
hub was a major center for the timber trade. This is the prime Amazonian red hardwood processed mostly for the construction industry, but much of this resource is in actual fact discarded and lost after the timber has been cut and processed for sale. The Alto Perus is the last frontier in Peru where mahogany is still being illegally logged. This poses a serious threat not only to the forest but also to the indigenous communities of this isolated region.
Mi nombre es Alfredo del Águila Meléndez, soy presidente de ejecutor del contrato de administración de la Reserva Comunal Purús. La Reserva Comunal Purús pues colinda con 26 comunidades tituladas y con 7 pueblos indígenas, de los cuales nosotros administramos la Reserva Comunal Purús para beneficio de los pueblos indígenas. Nosotros como pueblos indígenas sentimos orgullosos de ser pueblos indígenas, donde que nacemos, y sentimos orgullosos de cuidar nuestros recursos naturales para usar los demás niños o nuestros hijos que vienen después de nosotros.
Soy Rafael Pino Solano, ingeniero forestal de profesión y trabajo en la Reserva Comunal Purús, junto a los pueblos indígenas. El objetivo de mi trabajo es apoyar a las comunidades indígenas, tratando de que los recursos naturales que todavía tienen en sus comunidades sigan al servicio de ellos. Y bueno, a mi parecer, de acuerdo a la experiencia que he podido recoger, la conservación de recursos se logra siempre y cuando las comunidades vean el beneficio que ésta les da. Porque conservar tiene que mejorar la calidad de vida de la gente. Para conservar los recursos, nosotros debemos aprender a manejar y luego aprovecharlo para siempre. Y además los pueblos indígenas son originarios desde siempre en la Amazonía y tienen además todo el derecho pues, de seguir aprovechando sus recursos naturales.
El gobierno, a través de los programas de desarrollo, está facilitando concesiones para las actividades petroleras, actividades mineras, ¿no? Y esto, si es que no se hace de una manera responsable y bajo un proceso de consulta con las poblaciones locales, esto podría llevar a un riesgo de que los bosques amazónicos terminen por quedar vacíos.
This is the mechanized agricultural heartland at northern Mato Grosso, where production is steadily growing and expanding. This type of industrial agriculture uses vast amounts of fertilizers on an annual basis in order to sustain high levels of production.
Eu sou produtor Inácio Webler, vindo do Rio Grande do Sul, Paraná, atualmente Mato Grosso, produzindo em cima de 12.000 hectares de área, soja, milho, algodão, arroz, feijão e gado. Isto a gente faz para contribuir com o mundo em alimentação, né?
Brazil is the world's largest single producer of red meat. Vast swathes of the Amazon forest have been erased in order to provide pastures for new ranchers. Agro-corporate giants such as Cargill and Roundup-ready soya beans, genetically designed by Monsanto, are grown here on a huge industrial scale. This is truly a global production. Genetically engineered Roundup-ready soybeans act as monocrop, destroying everything in their path. There is strong opposition to this type of crop being introduced into the Amazon basin because of the unknown impact on the biodiversity of this region. Previous sustainable fishing and subsistent ranching communities have lately been displaced by new hydroelectric dams flooding vast areas of rainforest. New hydroelectric schemes are already in place in Para, and the economic frontier of this nation on the move is set to boom. These hydroelectric schemes are only sustainable as long as this region's forests are retained, for it is the moisture and the water from rainfall that makes hydroelectricity possible. New all-weather highways are opening up Brazil's Amazon at an alarming rate. In the next 6 months, Manaus and the cities of southern Brazil will for the first time ever be connected by a highway bridge across the mighty Amazon River. Manaus is developing into a vast and vibrant city and the center of a huge industrial agricultural complex. With future petroleum production in Peru, along with vast hydroelectric schemes, we are witnessing Manaus transforming into one of Brazil's fastest growing urban industrial metropolis. As the Amazon region's biodiversity and forests disappear, we as a global community need to contemplate on what we are witnessing. For the loss and the destruction of our planet's greatest equatorial rainforest will come at a catastrophic global impact. As our planet's magical forests rapidly recede and disappear, we will sooner rather than later begin to experience changes affecting each and every person that inhabits this planet and calls it home.